Hello, thank you all for joining us today. I am Chandra Manning. I'm the Director of Operations with Jacksonville Speech and Hearing Center, and we are joined today by Melissa Vincent. She is one of our speech language pathologists. She does work in schools and here in clinic. She's been a speech language pathologist for 8 years, and we are so fortunate to have her as part of our team and here today to share information with you guys about communication. Thank you so much for joining us today, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're talking today about the importance of communication. I'm sure over the years you have seen many communication disorders. What would you say are the most common?
I would say, so I have worked in a clinic as well as schools, and there's a variety of different kinds of impairments and disorders that I see. And a lot of the most common ones have been early language development, articulation disorders, stuttering, mixed receptive and expressive development, as well as pragmatics.
Okay, it sounds like there are several different communication disorders. What is the difference, though, between speech challenges and language challenges?
Yeah, there's a big difference between the two. And so what is the language disorder? That's the ability to process and use language, which involves two parts. So we have the expressive, which is what a child is trying to say, or what their wants or their needs are, and their opinions. And then there's a second part, which is receptive, and that's what a child can understand. So a language disorder is diagnosed if a child has difficulty in either both or one or the other of the areas. And so it's common for a child to be stronger in one area than the other. And so these language disorders are usually diagnosed between 3 and 5 years of age. And children don't outgrow this. It's with proper treatment, many children learning to overcome this disability for language is what you end up seeing. And then for speech, that's when we cannot produce the sounds within the mouth, and that's not having the proper placement or the proper sound within the oral mouth.
Okay, well, that actually sounds kind of familiar to me. I'm a mom. I have a little one, and when she was little, she had a little bit of trouble with R's. They sounded like W's, and we just thought it was cute. So how does a parent know when to seek help, or what it is that they're looking for to know that it's time to have their child evaluated?
Sure. So I brought this little piece of paper here, and it tells us, when these sounds come in. And so what we're looking for is we have ages from 1.5 to 8 years of age is when we develop our speech sounds. And if they're outside of this bracket and they're further having disability in producing those, then we are concerned. And so if we're past a certain age on a sound, like we're not saying a T or a D at the age of 6, then that's called an impairment there, and we're not properly placing our tongue in the right place to say those sounds.
Why is it so important that we correct those things?
So it's very important to correct a speech or a language disorder. So when a child enters into school, they're learning to read, they're learning to write, they're learning to share their thoughts and opinions, they're learning to make friends and socializing with peers and teachers. And so if they don't get those things corrected, you can see an issue with reading, you can see an issue with writing. They will write or read the way that they are talking. And so for that W, instead of saying red, they're going to write it out W-E-D, and it's going to say wed. And so now it means something totally different. And their message is now not the intended message that they wanted to say.
Okay. Well, let's talk about treatment for those things then. What does treatment look like?
So treatment is a variety of different things. It looks different for speech. It looks different for language. And what we do is based on the unique needs of the child, we base it individually on what they need and where their weaknesses are, as well as their strengths. And so we make goals where those areas of weaknesses are so that we can build those up to be age appropriate.
Okay, that we talk a lot about treatment as it relates to the child, but what is the parental or caregiver commitment for this?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing that I always want to say for my parents are, be positive, especially with the speech part of it, our articulation or our stuttering. We want to have a positive outcome so that our kids don't stop talking. If a child is being made fun of and you have parents not bringing a positive atmosphere, they may want to decrease in talking. And we don't want to have a child to have anxiety with the talking. We want to model correct speech. We want to play sound games. Your speech therapist is going to provide you with activities for home practice. It's very important to practice those every single day. It's just like playing a piano. If you want to get better at playing a piano, you're going to practice every day so that you can improve in that area. It's just like that. You want to practice, practice, practice. And it doesn't take all day long, just 5-10 minutes a day to dedicate just to that area, or even language. 5, 10, 15 minutes. And that's really all it is. It just takes practice on a daily basis to put that habit into practice.
That's great advice. Thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate that you took the time out of your day, out of your patient schedule, to come and share this information with us. I think that you've given our followers a lot of really helpful information. And so I just want to close by letting everyone know that if you'd like more information about some of the stuff that Melissa has shared with us today, how you can seek help for your child for speech or language delays or disorders, you can find that information on our website. It's www.shcjax.org, or you can call the office at 355-3403. Thank you all for joining us today. And thank you again, Melissa, for taking time out of your day to share this information with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And we are always here willing to answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.